Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we have double trouble. 2 PlayStation 5 controllers, the DualSense controller. Purchased them $40 on eBay. One of them's got a bad analog stick. Probably going to be quite boring, that one. I'm not really looking forward to doing that. But as the coming months and years roll on, loads of these will need analog sticks replacing, so needs must. But the other one I'm looking forward to because it's got no power. What's causing the no power? Is it a simple battery issue? Is it a short on the board that's stopping it from powering on? That's the one I'm looking forward to getting stuck into. Interestingly enough, look, writ in the same place on both boxes. Must be from right-handed people desperate to get in there to get to their latest generation controller. So there we have it. Now, before we start, just a quick shout out to some of the younger supporters of this channel here. I've got Harry and Ben. They've been supporting the channel for a long time now. They're actually one of my best friend's sons. So yeah, they really like the Fix-It videos and all the videos that I put out, which is fantastic. Also, we have Daniel Barwick, he's 6 years old, and we have Bryson Baker, a 5-year-old who likes to attempt to fix stuff around the house himself, which is fantastic because although they might not get a lot of knowledge from these videos, if it gives them the motivation to give things a go safely, of course, then as us lot get older, we've got the new generation people coming in and fixing things, which is fantastic, which is what we all want. So yeah, that's it. And also, not so young, but young compared to me, a happy belated 30th birthday to Andy Batson's girlfriends. So there we go. Let's get stuck into these now and let's see what's wrong with them. So here we have the one with no power, and I've got my power bank plugged into it, and if you have a look here, you can't see any orange light around the edge at all. If I hit the PlayStation button, you can see it doesn't go to blue. There's no power there at all. Yet on this one here with the bad analog stick, that I'll show you closer in a minute, when I do this here, you can see after a few seconds, it will go to amber and it will start charging. There you go. And if I was to hit the blue button, the PlayStation button, you can see it goes to blue here. Now, if you look at the analog stick here, it's not like that Xbox one I did, which was just forced down. this is moving around, but look, it's rotating. So I think it's the actual middle of the stick which is broken completely. So I'll tell you what, let's just take them both apart at the same time. Oh no, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's try to reset this one because there's a reset button. See if that will fix it. Right, so just a little hole at the back here. Not that one, that's to do with some kind of like mic cancelling or something. But if we go in there, okay, I felt a click. I'm just going to hold it on for a few seconds. I don't know if that's necessary or not. And unclick. No, definitely completely dead. Right, okay, let's open them both up. So we need to go just under here and clip up, and also under here. And then this whole section here will lift up. Right, no signs of any water damage or anything like that. It's not sticky, so hopefully that will be all good. Now we just need to pop off these bits here. So I'm just going to go under and clip out, and under and clip out. And that will now expose 4 screws, 2 at the bottom here and also 2 here and here. They're just a small Phillips crosshead screw. Actually, while I'm here, let me zoom in because some of you might not know this. Have a look what happens when you zoom right in on here. Can you see they're all PlayStation symbols? The square, the circle, the triangle, and the X. Isn't that clever? Everywhere, all over the texture, is PlayStation symbols. Good, isn't it? And now, talking about goodness, let's give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive. This month, that consists of Operational 117, KitDigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, Will Michaelis, Stephen Kilgore, Chris Seal, the My Mate Vince Fan Club, woo, Dorian from Hooverlux Restorations, Doctor Restoration, Mr. Directory, Jaw Media, and MediaSteamer.com. Isn't that weird? Dual Media and Media Steamer. And then we have Hooverlux Restorations and Doctor Restoration. And that's in the order that they pledged as well. All very interesting. Now we need to prise it apart here, but also undo the two little clips at the bottom here. So I'm going to put some pressure on it here while undoing these. There's one. Now let's do the other side. Now out of the My Mate Vince Massive, we do actually have some YouTubers in there. We've got Kip Hakes. We have Having Fun Repairs, Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service, Hooverlux Restorations, Doctor Restoration and Dual Media. Oh, there we go. Right, so remember this is the one with no power. Now let's take this one off here, doing the same thing again. So it's quite easy to take apart. And pressure on this side and unclip. There we go. There we have them. Okay, so now, why does this one not work? This one we just know is an analog stick problem. So why don't we just quickly swap the batteries over and see whether that will fix it or not. Could be a faulty battery for whatever reason. Now, is it the fact that the battery is not charging, or is the battery actually faulty? So let's pop this one into here. Now let's see if it turns on. Excellent, it doesn't. Brilliant, so it's not the battery. Now let's see if we've got any juice in this battery here. So put it in here. Nothing in this battery. Let's plug it in. If you have a look here, that one is definitely charging, but I'm not sure if it's got enough power in it. It looks like the battery is flat. Oh, there we go. We've got the blue light there now. Right, so that battery looks to be okay. We know that this is the good battery here, and yet we still haven't got any power here. So now, why haven't we got any power? Should we have a close look in here and see what it looks like? Right, so looking in there, those pins all look fine, don't they? And that side. Well, it don't seem to be bent or anything like that. I think they all look to be okay. Right, I think we need to strip that back further. Definitely no signs of any water damage. Yeah, all looks perfectly clean. Right, okay, now that the ribbon cables and stuff are disconnected, that's just the speaker at the top there. Let's plug it in now and see if we're going to have any... Hold on, we're not going to be able to see any lights, are we? Or is that a light? No, that's the light there. We should be able to see that light up. Let's see now what it does. Let's plug the battery back in. Just in case there's something else that's putting a short on it. Yeah, so we're plugged in now, yet we have no light on here at all. Interesting. So what is it that's caused that? Let's have a real close look at this board, and also let's have a look at the connections on that USB port. Right, there's no battery plugged in here at the moment, so it's completely dead. Okay, well, they look to be okay. So I think what we should do is, before we start fault finding this board here, we need to take the other board out anyway, don't we? So let's swap them over and see if it gets livened up. I'm just going to unsolder these points here and then see if, for example, if everything's working, apart from once we put this board in here, if everything seems to be working, then we know 100%, which I already think it is going to be a problem on this board. But yeah, there definitely doesn't seem to be any kind of obvious signs of damage on it. So I've got this board out now, and I'm going to take the board out from the faulty analog stick one. Interestingly enough, if you look at this ribbon cable up here, this is the one feeding the touchpad. Although the controller hasn't been out very long, look, different. I mean, maybe it's from a different manufacturer, but if you look here, there are different ribbon cables there, which I thought was interesting. So maybe already there's more than one revision. Right, okay, so let's undo the haptic feedback. And let's pop this board out. Right, okay, so that's out there now. The analog stick's not broken. Oh, hold on a minute, we've got grooves in it. One second, let's zoom in. No, that's working. And that's stayed in here. Let's take that one out. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what's happened? So we know that that was left in here, don't we? So what must have happened is, let's see if it's even possible. What I'm thinking is, I'm thinking possibly rage. Maybe the stick was grabbed and it allowed it to pop out of here, and then it's been forced back in. But when it was forced back in, it was forced in like that, and that's why it was able to rotate. That's what I'm wondering. Let's see if that's even possible. So, right, just remember we're not plugged in now, so that's going to be loose. Yeah, and look, that still allows it to go there. Yeah, look, you see? Okay, I thought it was a broken stick. It's not, it's just been pulled out. So I think if you have a look here, there is a bit of play. So maybe if you were, God, that would take some strength. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that is actually possible, but maybe if you used a lot of force, maybe then it's been forced back in again. Maybe this was bent, you know what I mean? Because there is pressure marks on here. Maybe this whole stick was bent out, but then it's been pushed back in. Just like the Xbox Series X one that I did, that was physically bent out of place. But if you had pushed it back in, you could have been unlucky and the actual stick wouldn't have gone into the hole of the cover here. And then it would just do what it's doing now, because that's not engaging with the stick. Yeah. Dearie me, that would have taken some strength to get that out. All right, well, let's have a look at these. See how misshapen it is. Yeah, it does look a little bit mangled around there. Maybe it's been pried back in with a screwdriver. The power of rage. Right, what I'm going to do is, it does look to be pretty much in shape, but just like the little thing that I did on the Xbox Series X controller, I'm going to get some boiling water. I'm not going to put the rubber in, I'm just going to put the bottom into it like that, and that will hopefully mould it back into the original shape, which is nearly there anyway. Let's get the kettle on. There we go. Got the best dusting mug possible. Let's fill it up with some hot water. Not hot boiling water, obviously, be careful. Kids, get your parents to do this. Now, which one is it here? This one here, yeah? So I'm just going to hold it like that and place it in. Do you know what? That could be just my mind, but I thought I seen that expand out a bit. Let's just do the other side. I'm not putting the rubber from the top in. I mean, it was already good anyway, but look at that. There we go. Right, so unless this controller has other problems, which I don't think it will have, I think that is going to be fixed. So let's get rid of the boiling water. Okay, so I've got the good board in here now. It's kind of pointless doing this because, although I've put some of the ribbon cables in, I haven't put them all in. But I suppose it will show whether maybe the... Let's see if show if the buttons are working. So I'm going to hold down this and this. I can see the orange light. Yeah, there we go. It's flashing there now. Okay, so it does look like the faceplate and stuff of this is going to be okay. You can see they're just flashing like that. So now let's start fault finding this board, seeing if we can find any comparison between the two of them. Luckily, I know which is the good board because it's got the chewed up analog stick. So this is the faulty board here. First things first, let's just see if we've got any shorts on the capacitors. These are the sort of things I love the most now, having to find out what the fault is, like the detective work. Okay, already those two capacitors are shorting, the first two I went across. Let's just see if they're doing on this one now. It might actually be supposed to do that. No, now look at that. So you can see here, short, short. This is the good board with the chewed up analog stick. And now on this side, can you see nothing and nothing? Yet on here, look at that, the first two I went across. Short, short, but this side is also shorting. But it is a 7 ohm short, which might not necessarily be a fault. It's just that it's acting differently than the other one. Because on this one, you can see that we're not getting a reading at all. Right, okay, so now let's zoom in, see if we can work out where that goes to or from. So is that a little inductor? I think it is. Let's have a look at this one here. No, so that's okay. So it's this rail here which looks like it's shorting. This one around here. So I wonder what that feeds. Let's see if we can see where that goes on the other side. Just going to use my probe here to get an idea. Roughly around here. Must be this here. So there's 6 here. Let's have a look here. And 6 there. But then 2 below. 6 there, 2 below. It's these ones here, isn't it? So, unless there's capacitors on the other side, it goes into this chip here. So this should also be a ground here now. Yeah, they're okay. Isn't that amazing? The first capacitors I went on are the ones that have shorted. Right, that's also looking like a short there. I just want to see if that's on this one. No. So, has this little chip here gone, I wonder? Because now that's a different rail again, isn't it? Look, if this is the rail that's shorted, why have we got it coming up on this one? Well, it's a lot easier to remove the capacitors than to remove that chip. Let's just see if there's any other shorts around that chip. Yeah, look. So that's shorting as well. And that one. And let's do it on the good one. Okay. Unfortunately, that says to me it is that chip. I might just Google that, see what it is. So the DA9070, this one here, is a power management IC. The weird thing is, when I look at the datasheet for this, it's coming up as a BGA chip. Yet that's not BGA. But who knows, maybe they could have made it different for Sony, or maybe this is just, maybe there's loads of different types of it. But anyway, it's a power management IC. So yeah, would it be possible that somehow, when they plugged it in, it got a surge and knocked this out via the USB-C? Maybe it's, I wonder whether, Do you know, 1 second. This is my USB-C charger for my phone. Now, there was an instance with certain chargers on the PlayStation 4 controller burning them out because you know the chargers nowadays. So on this one here, this is going to be expecting 5 volts, isn't it, from the USB port on the PlayStation 5. But with this is only just a guess. But on here, it will do 5 volts and 9 volts. Now, obviously, I think it's 5 volts and it needs to communicate with each other in order to put 9 volts through. So this shouldn't be communicating to put 9 volts through. But on the PlayStation 4, there was definitely instances where the controllers were getting burnt out from people charging them with their phone chargers. And already now, I've seen another one on eBay for sale, which says no power. I'm wondering, could it be that people are sometimes charging them with maybe their phone charger? And if it's having some kind of miscommunication, that is shoving through 9 volts, in which case then it's frying the chip. Could that be possible? Because as you can see here, the output on this is 5 volts and 9 volts for the faster charging. I wonder if that's what's happening here. I know it shouldn't, but if this wasn't designed for this one here, and it's only designed to be plugged into the PlayStation 5, I wonder whether somehow the communication's going wrong. If that's possible, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. Now, I don't see the point of taking off the capacitors because we have faults on more than that rail. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to take this chip off and then see if the shorts go. If it comes off easy enough, I might, just for the purpose of the video, I would never do this in real life because this is, the one with the chewed up one here, should be a working controller. But if it comes off easy, I might pop this one onto here just to see if this one now fully becomes working. If it does, we know 100% that chip's at fault. I could maybe see if that is a chip that you can buy, or if not, it means then in the future, if you have another one of these which is completely water damaged, or maybe a problem with this chip here or something, maybe the chip could be removed from that one to get this one working. So yeah, I'm going to put some flux on. I'm just going to cover up this connector here with some Captain tape, and I think the rest of it might be okay. I'm not sure. Do you know what? That's probably going to melt a bit on that side. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just foam. Yeah, let's see. It might come off easy enough. I'm going to try to keep it up here so it doesn't, so all the flux doesn't go down here and start melting these connectors. I've got my temperature set to 400 degrees Celsius and my airflow 8 out of a possible 5. And I'm going to try to angle the heat more towards the middle of the board here. Here it comes. Just need to remember that that little mark there coincides with the gold arrow. So you can see the massive possible ground plane or something in the middle. Well, let's see now if the shorts have gone. Okay, so let's take our ground from here again and let's have a listen. No. You can see the shorts have now gone. And let's have a look on this side. So it was these two here that had shorted, wasn't it? Yeah, you can see now they're shorted on this side here, but not on this side. Yeah. So that chip has got, I think, a short on it compared to the good board. And also remember, this is completely dead and it's a power management IC. I really do believe that maybe it was a surge, either possibly from the PlayStation or I think more than likely from plugging in a non-standard USB-C into it and it shoved through too much voltage. In real life, there's no way I would risk this one here now. But remember, it's a video, and I'm sure most of you are going to find it more entertaining if I swap the chips over. And if this starts working, we've 100% proved that the fault is on this chip here. So now I need to remove the good chip from the good board. Then I need to remove the unleaded solder from the bad board. Then tin it up again with a little bit of leaded solder, give it all a good clean, add flux, and then put the good chip onto the bad board. And that's where we're going to pick up the video, when I'm soldering the good chip onto the bad board. I think that's okay. So now I'm going to add some flux all around it and in the middle. Oh, before we do that, let's see if that middle one is an actual ground or not. Yes, it is. Yeah. Right, so I've got my dot on that corner up here. So I get it roughly aligned. Now let's add some heat on it and hopefully it will all pull back into place. This reminds me very much of the same sort of size chip as the one in the Nintendo Switch, you know, the one that when you plug in a non-standard charger that it blows. This one likes to dance, and also annoyingly I've got bad shakes right now. I'm trying to support my forearms on the table, but it's the shake seems to be coming from my wrist. I think they're starting to go a bit shiny. It's awkward because the middle one I think is a, there you go, see that dance there? I'm just going to try to apply a bit of pressure. Nah, my hands are too shaky. So yeah, that's there. I'm just going to take the heat off now. Now I'm going to apply a bit of pressure downwards and heat it up again without moving. Nah, there we go, good, I got the ball out of it here, good. And anyway, it moved. I think now that is in place. So I just have to rub the iron. I'm going to change the tip of my iron. God, I really have got the shakes. Look at that. Oh my. What's going on? Well, let's put a bit of flux on there and see if I can get rid of that little one here. And also that big one here. So that's what happens when there's a bit too much solder on the middle pad. You need to kind of force it down to shove the solder out. And amazingly, it doesn't kind of bridge on the inside, it just kind of gets shoved out. You would think it would bridge on the way, but I suppose with the heat it pushes it out and solder wants to stick to solder. I'm just going to try to do it with a bigger tip on my iron because it will save me having to let it all cool and then heat up again. Well, let's clean it up and see what it looks like. Right, good news is none of these got burnt anyway. Well, I think it's looking pretty good. Let me zoom in. Those pins look to be on there, and they're in the right place. The pins there look to be on, and they're in the right place. They look to be on. Yeah. And they're in the right place and all look to be soldered. So let's get the battery connected to this, put some charge into it and see if the little light lights up. Foam, I think I've gotten away with that here. I think that all looks okay. I presume that's just for some sort of like vibration or something off the speaker. Right, let's plug this in. Now we want to see an orange light here, don't we? There we go. Yes, fantastic. Whoop, whoop. Brilliant. Okay, so yeah, that's charging. So it is definitely that chip at fault. This little one here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the faulty one with no power, this one here, fully back together because at least the analog sticks are not chewed up. There's nothing wrong with that. That analog stick, I'm pretty sure, would last forever because it's only just like a millimetre in around the edge there. But I might as well put this one back together now because the chip is on here. And really there's not much I can do about this one. I know it just needs a chip, because obviously this was originally working fine with the dodgy analog stick. So I'm going to have a look online, see if I can buy them. But the very quick little bit there I did on my mobile, it looks like they come in BGA form. So I might not actually be able to get it in this, you know, quad flat package, isn't it? No, QFN? Quad flat no pin or something, QFN? I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, that's the sort of package I need there. But fantastic. Well, you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that little bit of fault finding there. I got a little bit lucky finding the capacitors straight away, but that happens every now and then. But I would have got there eventually anyway, because there's not that many capacitors on the board to go across. So yeah, interesting. Let's get this back together. There we go, we got the blue light now. So let's put it fully back together and then test it on the PS5, make sure that all the features are working. It's all synced up, it needed to be updated, so obviously that chip is not married to the board because it updated and stuff fine. The battery is completely flat, which I suppose is understandable because when that chip would have failed it would have no longer charged, but it does appear to be holding its charge. If I sync that up again now, just to give you a quick show, you can see the adaptive triggers working. And touchpad. And I've played a quick bit of a game, analog sticks and stuff are working as you would expect. And testing, testing, testing. You can see the speakers working. And if I hit it on mute there, it goes to there, and if I hold it down, it mutes it completely. So good news, it's all working. Bad news is, I had a little look into this chip, and when I type this into Google, the only thing it comes up with is the fact that it's from the PlayStation 5 teardown on various different websites. So this chip doesn't look like it's available for sale right now. Now obviously the PlayStation 5 has only just been out a little while, so hopefully, you know, as the months and years go by, this will be available. But right now, if I wanted to buy this chip, I can't find it for sale anywhere. So it looks like the only way to actually get this working, sorry, it's taking ages to focus. It looks like the only way to get this working would be to take it from another controller, which is a shame. So really it means that this one with no power wasn't a fixable controller. I had to essentially break a working controller in order to get it to work. But remember, like I said earlier, that was just done purely for the video and also for knowledge now, because we know that if there's no power, the chances are it's going to be the power management chip there, especially if you have shorts around the capacitors around that. So yeah, out of the two of them, I could only get one working, but I'm confident when that does become available, and I'm sure it's not going to cost a huge amount of money. I'm sure when it comes available, you'll be able to get it for probably about £5 UK, in which case then that controller will be fully working again, which is good. So again, I really enjoyed working on the DualSense controller, and although I've already done a water damage one in the past, I would look forward to doing more again in the future. So if you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. Take care, everyone.